Hey guys, welcome to my game room. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of games behind me. And that's only a fraction of what's actually down here. In fact, it's grown so much that my backlog is over 1,200 games, and I'm just dying to get to them. The only catch is, I play every game randomly, so I have no idea what's coming up. Also, I know nothing about editing videos or doing any of this YouTube stuff. Matter of fact, I don't even know the name of any video editing software. So why don't you come on this train wreck with me, see if we can figure it out, maybe have some fun together. Hey guys, how about that intro? I composed that, performed it, and recorded it just for you. So I hope you liked it. Since this is the first video, I figured we'd do something easy. We can call it a pickups video if you want. Or better yet, I like to say, adding to the backlog. So how many games are in the backlog? Let's throw it right up there. And I have 7 games plus 1 console that we picked up to add to it. I have a lot more, but since this is my first real YouTube video, I think I have a 10-minute limit, so we're going to have to go with that. So I'll try to move quickly. Also, try to ignore my weird long fingernails on my right hand. I'm a guitarist, so I use those for playing. And I know it can be distracting. I'm super embarrassed about it, but such is the life of a musician. Anyway, let's dive right in. The first game we have today, it's a pretty good one. I've wanted it for a while. This is Sin and Punishment on the Nintendo 64. This was only released in Japan, and I believe it's called Sumi no Batsu in Japanese. I'm excited to play this one. I was on the lookout for a boxed copy for a long time, but was never able to find it. So I ended up opting for just the cart-only version. That's fine. I paid about retail for this. I was never really able to find a good deal for it. It's pretty in demand, but I'm looking forward to playing this when it finally comes around. It might be in a week or it could be 15 years from now. Who knows? But I'm excited for that. Up next was a thrift store pickup, believe it or not. This is the Leisure Suit Larry collection. And believe it or not, the PAL version, which is strange. I believe they released this in the United States, but it has all 5 of the old DOS Leisure Suit Larry games included. I played Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards when I was probably not old enough to play a game like that. There's some very lewd and risque parts in these games, but for a teenager on his first PC, it was a thrill to be able to play something like that. And I'm looking forward to diving in and playing it. I don't know if it'll even run on modern PCs. It says it'll run on Windows XP, and then something in the instructions says about it requires DOSBox. Plus it's PAL. I don't know if it's region locked or what, but we'll dive into these one day and revisit them and see if they're as obtuse and difficult to solve as most PC adventure games were back then. A Dreamcast game. This is MDK2. I don't really know much about MDK. I've never really delved into the series before, but a friend was at a game store out of town and saw it and asked me if I wanted it. The price is, retail, so that's fine, but I thought it'd be interesting to try one out. You can see there's a little bit of damage here on the cover, and it was apparently a Premiere video rental back in the day, but I'm looking forward to jumping into this one. I don't know much about the series. If you're a big fan, let me know in the comments. I know it has a pretty strong following and has some interesting humor in it, obviously, from the anthropomorphic dog on the front with the What is that, a submachine gun? Interesting. Anyway, I don't know about this one, but it's nice to add it to the collection, even in the condition it's currently in. Oh, this is an interesting one. This is a console. This is the Abernick and Bernick. It's sort of a, I guess you would say, a little mini emulator machine. I don't normally play emulated games or use emulators very often, but I recently picked up a Game Gear collection from someone who needed a little bit of money. I'm not a huge Game Gear fan, but you know, I wanted to help her out, and you know, it's fun to dive into a new system. My Game Gear that I do have is like all Game Gears, broken, despite the fact that I have changed out the screen more than once and recapped it. Again, every time I try it, something's wrong with it. I turned it on to play a game recently and played about 20 minutes, and then the screen just died on me. I have a friend who's pretty good with electronics, and he's supposed to make me a consoleized Game Gear, which I'm really looking forward to, but he has a backlog of projects to do for people, and so I don't know when he'll ever get to it. So I bought this just to really emulate the Game Gear games so I can play through the, you know, couple hundred of them I bought. I got the wood grain here. I don't know, I thought it would be kind of classy and maybe even a little campy. It looks okay. Anyway, I tried playing a game on it, and it worked well. I don't really expect I'll use it to emulate much more than the Game Gear, but thus far it's been good, and I've noticed that people seem to like it, so the reviews have been nice for it. It was kind of expensive. I think it was $130 on Amazon, and it did come with a mini SD card or a micro SD card with some ROMs loaded on it, but they mainly look to be ROM hacks and other things like that. I don't know that I'll dive into those. I don't have the time. Obviously, I've got, you know, 1,200 games in my backlog, and we just added a few more. But anyway, I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm slowly working my way through these Game Gear games as they come up. They sort of dominate my portable game backlog at the moment, so they're coming up rather regularly. So I think this will come in handy. I'll let you guys know more about it. Here's one I was on the fence about for a while. AI, the Somnium Files. I think this is a visual novel. It's done by Spike Chunsoft, which are the people that did the Danganronpa games. This one I was on the fence about, and I kind of waited a little too long to get it, and the US version ended up becoming really expensive, like $80, $90 for a sealed copy, and there aren't very many open copies to be found anywhere. So I went ahead and imported the PAL version. It was cheap. I think it was $35 or so. At the time of recording this, you can still get it on Amazon. So if you just want to play this game, and you might, because the sequel just came out, this might be the way to go. The PS4 is region free, so that shouldn't really be a problem. And if you really are like me and you're more of a gamer than a collector, then it's no issue playing the PAL version, you know, just to experience the game. Here's another one from our buddies over at Red Art Games, Noel Drifter. They claim this is a 1-bit game. I don't really understand how 1-bit could be described as anything other than just a single pixel on a screen, but it looks kind of interesting. It looks like a sort of a twin-stick shooter. I think it's supposed to be set in the Project Starship universe. If you're familiar with those shmups, they're supposed to be pretty good. I think I've purchased all of them, but of course, like everything else, they haven't come up for me to play yet. Anyway, I'm excited about trying this one out. Like every game that comes from Europe and is shipped, the disc is loose in the box. It's kind of unfortunate. I can get it back into place using a trick, but whenever I do that, I seem to get little divots in the artwork, and sometimes it'll even tear the cellophane on the packaging. So I don't move the games around a lot. They typically sit on the shelf for many years before I get to them, so I'm not worried about the disc sitting in the bottom of the jewel case for too long. Oh, here's a big one from First Press Games. I was a little concerned that this company was a Ponzi scheme where they were using the funds from their pre-orders to help publish and create the previous games they've sold. But I finally got this one. I think it took almost 2 years to come in. It's a fantastic looking collector's edition. I don't even think this is the collector's edition. It's just their standard version. It has this leather type sort of cover on it, and came with some minted coins. We have a silver and a sort of bronze one here. I don't think it's real silver, but they look very nice, and a little welcome package. Very nice. And this is some nice paper. Certificate of authenticity, I guess. But this is a shmup. It's kind of the spiritual sequel to, what is the name of that game? Ginga Force, that was released on the Xbox 360. It was one of those region-free shmups that everybody kind of sought out and purchased and drove the price up. It's a good game. I think this is supposed to be a little bit better. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's from the same designer that did Escatos and Judgment Silver Sword and what is the spiritual sequel to Judgment Silver Sword? Something Sins, Cardinal Sins. That was another good one. Anyway, I was able to 1 credit clear those games, so I was looking forward to this one. I might have to delve into some of the deeper and more esoteric components of my complicated backlog system to skip this one ahead. I'll fill you guys in on that if you're more interested. It would take a long video to describe how the backlog system works, and until I get those 1,000 subscribers that I need, I don't think I can really dive into it. I wouldn't have enough time unless I serialized the video. And I don't think people want to see multiple videos of me talking about my insane and wildly over complex system of picking out games to play. But if you're interested, let me know. I'll do it for you guys. It's for you after all. And the final game that I have for you guys today, this is a big one. It took an extremely long amount of time to come in. I didn't think it would ever come, but it is the Sharp 68K edition of Cotton Reboot. Ooh, hard to get that in frame. Let's see if I can back that up here. Fantastic Night Dreams was the original game when it came out on the 68K. And of course, it being cotton and all, it has to come with a teacup. We have the tea time cup here. Of course, these are unopened. I don't know if I'll ever crack into them or not. It's one of those situations where these games take so long to come in that people start getting FOMO, fear of missing out, and they drive up the price. So if the deduction in price of opening this, being it sealed versus opened, is more than the cost of just downloading the game, I'll leave it sealed and just download the game. For example, if I think I paid $160 for this, if it's $300 for it sealed and $150 open in value, and I can just download the game for $20, I'll just download the game, keep this sealed, and then trade it to somebody for an open copy if I ever come across it. I'm more of a gamer than a collector, so I don't really like to keep my games sealed. However, I don't want to throw away a lot of value cracking them open if I don't need to. I said you can always trade them away for an open copy later, have the same thing open, and then use that extra money to buy more games that you won't play for another 10 to 15 years. Anyway, guys, that's going to be my first video. Sorry, it's just a pickups video. I'm sort of limited till I hit that 1,000, maybe it's 1,000 hours viewed. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about YouTube, but you have to hit a threshold before you can upload videos over 15 minutes. So I'll be doing several of these pickups videos. I have a whole pile of games that I need to film, and I don't want to do too many of them, but I do need to add them into the backlog. And soon we'll do a games I've played video recently, where I'll quickly review several games that I've knocked off the list and let you know if it's something you really want to dive into. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.